This is the only guide you need to watch if you want to know which countries will grant you their citizenship and passport, either through investment or through naturalization with physical residence. The truth is, outside of the EU, Europe, Latin America, the Caribbean, and many other regions have become the perfect destination to obtain a second passport in the shortest possible time, allowing you access to virtually the entire world without being pressured by first world countries trying to control their citizens and strip them of their sovereignty. This is the express route. There is no faster path than this. The Caribbean hosts 5 established CBI programs, all of which have undergone major changes recently due to international pressure. You know these programs: Antigua, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts, and St. Lucia. They offer the most direct route to a second passport. For between $200,000 and $400,000, you can obtain one through real estate, a fund deposit, or a donation. Personally, I only recommend the latter two, since real estate rarely turns out well in these schemes. They promise you a passport in 3 to 4 months, but in reality it's at least 10 months, and it can stretch up to years. Also, these programs are under intense scrutiny from the US and the European Union, who are pushing for higher prices or added residency requirements, arguing that passport buyers have no real ties to the country and pose a security risk. Proposals on the table including requiring 30 days per year for the first 5 years, or a total of 30 days over 5 years. So if you choose this path, be aware that Schengen access might be revoked, along with the ability to apply for US tourist or business visas, or residencies in places like the UAE. Outside the Caribbean top 5, we have El Salvador, which has gained fame for its new security policies. Outside the Caribbean top 5, we have El Salvador, which has gained fame for its new security policies, its adoption of cryptocurrencies as legal tender, and a store of value. I have clients who have obtained Salvadorian citizenship by investment or naturalization, because for Spaniards and other Latinos, they get the citizenship in just 2 years. Others have outright purchased the passport, but many hesitate because the requirements are steep. We are talking about $1 million in Bitcoin or USDT, either as a donation or payment. If you hold hundreds of Bitcoins, then donating 10 might not affect you much, and in exchange, you get citizenship. The process is fast and straightforward. In 4 to 6 weeks, you can get your passport and then travel to El Salvador to collect it. It's important to note that beyond the fees mentioned, all of these programs come with additional costs: due diligence fees, government processing fees, legal fees, and so on. We can give you a detailed code for your case, because offers below these thresholds may be fraudulent or might even cost you your citizenship, as has already happened in recent years. Now we enter the second category, citizenship by exception. This part of the video requires some nuance since governments don't provide clear public information. These are discrete pathways. Unlike CBI programs where you simply donate or buy property without real ties to the country, citizenship by exception is based on building a strong case that demonstrates value to the host nation. It might involve direct business investment, job creation, tech innovation, cultural or education projects, XYZ. This path is backed by national legislation and handled with complete discretion. When we talk about citizenship by exception, we are not talking about handing over 300,000 euros and receiving a passport. You will need to establish residence, spend time there, set up a company, hire locals, pay taxes, and enter a business area of special interest to the government. Only then might they consider granting you citizenship, because there is no formal program. You can always apply, but if you don't have anything in that country, they won't grant it. And if your project isn't serious or your international reputation is poor, they won't grant it either. Each case is evaluated individually. There is no public price list. It's approved by the state, often by involvement from the executive branch or recommendations from key ministers such as Interior, Foreign Affairs, or the Economy. It's formally recorded as a discretionary sovereign grant. That's why we call it citizenship by merit or added value, not a mere financial transaction like in the Caribbean. And that's one of its key advantages. It's not a mass market program, and it doesn't carry the stigma of a bought passport. You are obtaining true citizenship from a sovereign state with embassies and consulates worldwide, international treaties, extradition agreements, and full global validity. More or less, it's somewhat similar to Turkey's citizenship by investment program, but this is far more selective. It has greater international credibility because it's not marketed through advertising. Not just anyone qualifies, and in fact, almost all countries offer this route, but keep it extremely low profile. The key is that your investment must be considered significant by the country's standard. In South America, it might be $300,000 to $500,000. In the EU, 2 to 5 to 10 to even 50 million euros, depending on the country. Even if not widely promoted, there are legal precedent and frameworks for citizenship by exception in countries like Argentina, Paraguay, Uruguay, Mexico, Nicaragua, the Dominican Republic, and in Europe, countries such as Serbia, Austria, Georgia, North Macedonia, Germany, Spain, Hungary, Slovenia, Slovakia, Greece, and others. Many of them have granted citizenship to foreign investors, scientists, artists, and entrepreneurs, even when they didn't meet the residency requirements, using this exact legal pathway. Another major advantage: no one knows your passport was granted by exception. There is no scent of a purchase document. That, for many people, is critical. You can present yourself as a genuine national of the country with identical documentation to any native citizen. To me, this is the best option available today, but it must be handled with extreme care. It's not easy, and unfortunately, it's very easy to lose everything if you don't work with people who have real reputation and experience. Scammers can print a fake passport in one afternoon, so I only recommend this route if you are absolutely sure, if you can verify the company you are working with has years, better yet, decades of experience, and if you know they have real governmental connections. For those who don't know, I'm originally from Spain. I hold the Spanish citizenship, Spanish nationality, and right now I'm pursuing two citizenships at the same time while holding residence in several Latin American countries. I don't post everything about myself, but you should know I'm resident in Cyprus, Spain, Paraguay, and Mexico, and I have other registration structures in Panama, Guatemala, El Salvador, Argentina, and more. Let's now explore residency by investment programs that lead to citizenship. If you are willing to take a more gradual approach, several Latin American countries offer attractive residency by investment options that can eventually lead to naturalization. These programs focus on building genuine ties and integration. Unlike the Caribbean CBI schemes, these paths require you to first obtain temporary or permanent resident, fulfill physical presence and integration requirements, and then apply for citizenship. The advantage is that these programs face less international scrutiny and offer a more authentic bond with your new country. First up is the Dominican Republic, which offers the fastest route from investment to citizenship on the Latin American mainland. You have investor visa starting at $200,000, covering real estate, business ventures, bank deposits, or securities. Alternatively, a retired visa requiring a pension of at least $1,500 per month. You only need 6 months of permanent residence, and after that, you can be eligible to apply for citizenship. You will need to pass a citizenship interview in Spanish and demonstrate basic knowledge of Dominican culture. This path is exceptionally short, making it attractive outside the Caribbean. However, this passport doesn't offer high mobility, and you must maintain the investment for several years. But since it's not a donation but an investment, you can later reinvest that capital in a better passport like a golden visa in Portugal, boats in St. Lucia, or real estate in Turkey for $400,000, or even make a donation by exception to secure a top-tier passport. Next, Panama, which is very investor-friendly with minimal presence required. It strikes a good balance for investors with reasonable conditions. First of all, we have qualified investor visa, $300,000 in real estate, available until 2026, $500,000 in stocks. Of course, we know that in Panama we have the Friendly Nations visa for citizens of around 50 countries, including Spain, myself, which requires $200,000 in real estate or a local job offer. That job offer can come from your own company, just like in the UAE. This lets you to get a 2-year temporary residence without investment and later move to permanent residence, something not allowed in the UAE. Panama doesn't require a minimum stay to keep permanent residence, but it does require ongoing ties if you aim for citizenship. To qualify, you need 5 years of legal residence, or 3 if you are from certain Latin American countries or Spain. Combined with its territorial tax regime and no taxes on foreign income, Panama is a very attractive option for tax planning. The only drawback is that the government isn't proactive about granting citizenship, so in practice the process may take longer than stated. They say 5 years, but it could stretch to 6, 7, or 8. The third country is Paraguay, which offers one of the most affordable investment thresholds and a relatively short path to citizenship. Currently, it requires $70,000, which can go toward real estate, business capital, or certain securities. You must spend time in Paraguay each year if you aim to obtain citizenship. To maintain permanent residence, just 1 day every 3 years suffices. To keep permanent residence, just 1 day every 3 years is enough, but for citizenship you need to reside 3 years, generally interpreted as 9 months per year, or to show very strong local ties. You will also need to demonstrate genuine connection to the country, cultural integration, maybe a donation, a local business, or some land. Fourth one is Paraguay, the most respected passport in Latin America, but with strict residency requirements. We have several options in terms of residency. For example, we have the first one, real estate, around $390,000. The business route, $1,700,000 plus the creation of 15 jobs. You can also apply by demonstrating sufficient economic solvency. Here, residence is mandatory. Families must live 3 years and single individuals 5. There is an interesting tax rule. You can obtain tax residency in 60 days if you make a large investment, but for citizenship, physical presence in the country is required. The countdown starts from the date you apply for residence, not from its approval. Starting in 2025, Uruguay removed the birthplate from its passport, a big plus if you don't want to reveal your Venezuelan, Indian or Spanish origin, which often cause issues at border controls. Brazil also deserves mention. While I don't recommend it as a direct investment path, it offers one of the best citizenship in the region. If you have a child born there, you can fast-track naturalization. If you come from a Portuguese-speaking country, residency is easy and quick to obtain. Later, you can naturalize with relatively few hurdles. We could also mention Argentina, Chile, Costa Rica, Mauritius, Rwanda, the UAE, and some Asian residencies like the Vietnam News One, Thailand's DTV, the Thailand Elite Visa, the upcoming Thai Golden Visa, Indonesia by deposit, Malaysia's My Second Home. There are many options. Just get in touch with us and we will tell you more. We will see if we can help you.